What is up, you beautiful people? Thank you so much for clicking this episode. If you are new here, I am not surprised because this is a new episode and a new channel. So thank you all so much for the love and the support. So if you were wondering, my name is Avril Falcon. Obviously, I'm not going to disclose my name, at least not just yet. So what are we going to do here in this channel? Precisely, you might ask. Well, we are going to be reacting to various podcasts, TV shows, I don't know, even seminars, something like that, etc. down the line. So if you guys don't mind doing a quick solid for me, it does take some time to get these videos out and so on and so forth, and reacting and putting my mind into this and such work. So if you could please do me a very solid favor and please hit that subscribe button down below. That would mean the absolute world to me. And leave a like as well if you can, and a comment. Share your thoughts, and opinions. And if you want, also let me know if you want me to react to something else, give you my opinion on it. So that would be very much appreciated. So without further ado, let us dive in. So yeah, today's episode is going to be a doozy. We're going to be reacting to Diary of a CEO's one of his episodes, I believe, Dark Psychology. So never seen it, and this is going to be my raw opinions on it. So here we go.
Like this, and then flip him over, you look all the way up and look all the way down. I'll make him do like 50 things, none of the things that I just did with them.
So I think this might be just about hypnosis and all of that, and how to read the room, I believe. Okay, I guess let's find out.
Are meaningful. Everything was micro compliance. And you don't realize that you're going through massive amount of compliance. So in order to get your behavior to change or influence another human being, use what works for brainwashing, because our brains have not developed one more wrinkle in the last 200,000 years.
Wait, what? Our brains have not developed not one wrinkle in the last 200,000 years? Huh. Who would have thought? Okay. I mean, I kind of might think that it's not actually 200,000 years, but that's just my opinion.
So a regular example of this is novelty. Anything novel hijacks our brain. So if you're trying to change your beliefs, or you want to lose this weight, change something up in your life, change your wardrobe, repaint the walls in your office, you need to tell the animal part of our brain here, because this has been proven on fMRI studies that the decision shows up before we're conscious of it.
What about human-to-human skills?
So people are starving to have great conversations that are very influential, which means that if I'm an attorney, I can sway a jury. If I'm a hostage negotiator, I save people's lives. If I'm a parent, I raise better kids because I can communicate in a way that gets the outcome that I'm looking for. And
yeah, which is really hard for some people, and even at times myself, because when I'm trying to either prove a point or when I'm trying to sway people to look at my outlook, and just my overall opinion on something, that too is kind of just, very hard for some people to have, in their look of my point of view. So, okay. I'll have to learn if there is something valuable in this. So
you can do that with any of these techniques, like negative dissociation, the childhood development triangle. There's this thing called the PCP model. And when it comes to influencing human beings, that is the most important thing that you could ever understand.
That might just be the most important skill in the world. So let's do some role playing.
All right.
I love that.
Guys, I've got a quick favor to ask you. We're approaching a significant subscriber milestone on this show, and roughly 69% of you that listen and love this show.
By the way, before we continue, I did want to say that his intros are just pretty sick. It's nice what he's doing. He knows how to grab the attention, so it's kind of obviously he's been in the journalistic path. So kudos to you, dude. All right, but let's see how many unsubscribers he has, I guess. And by the way, also, if you're doing a favor to me to subscribe to him as well, okay? If you have not already, so.
Haven't yet subscribed for whatever reason, if there was ever a time for you to do us a favor, if we've ever done anything for you, given you value in any way, it is simply hitting that subscribe button.
Yeah,
and
guys,
it means so much
hit
to myself,
that
but also to my
subscribe
team,
button.
because when we hit these milestones, we go away as a team and celebrate. And it's the simple, free, easy thing you can do to help make this show a little bit better every single week. So that's a favor I would ask you. And if you do hit the subscribe button, I won't let you down, and we'll continue to find small ways to make this whole production better. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. It means the world. And let's do this.
Noted.
To be honest,
Oh, man.
Sometimes I actually have no idea what's going on until I open Monday.com. And boom, everything.
There.
Chase, the world is changing rapidly before our eyes on so
It is, and I can confirm.
many fronts, in terms of geopolitics, but also in terms of technology with this whole AI thing that's rapidly accelerating. And with that, you've got things like robotics that are on the way, and Elon Musk saying that we'll have 10 billion humanoid robots in the world in the future. And these are going to be intelligent robots because the software within
Wait, Elon actually said that? I have to look that up. Hold on, let me just read.
humanoid robots that are on the way, and Elon Musk saying that we'll have 10 billion humanoid robots in the world in the future. And these are going to be intelligent robots because the software within them is now artificial and it's incredibly intelligent. One of the things people say to me a lot is, in a world where we're going to have all this intelligence, what jobs are going to remain? And one of the points of consensus from interviewing all these great AI experts is that human skills, any skills that are irreplaceably human, social skills.
By the way, let me know down in the comments section if that's actually true, because Elon Musk's saying that there's about 10 billion of those robots that are going to be taken over. I mean, one is already pretty creepy, which I will have to say. Just honestly, the amount of intelligence just one has is just pretty insane. So, I mean, but 10 billion? I mean, there's only 8 billion of us humans. How are the robots going to make it even to 10 billion? I'm actually curious. So let me know down in the comment section if you can, if you guys have any idea what it might be, or if you agree or disagree that Elon should just send those 10 billion up to Mars instead of us. I think that'd be a better idea. Yeah.
People skills are going to be of extreme value. You spend a lot of time teaching people these skills. I asked you a question just before we started recording. The question I asked you is, what is the thing you like talking about the most that you think adds the most value to people? What did you say?
Helping people understand how to guide human decision and have great conversations that are very influential.
What does that mean in real specific practical terms?
It means that if we are in a conversation, I become more likely to help you achieve the outcome that I see for you. So if I'm a leader, then I can do that. If I'm an attorney, I can sway a jury. I can make a jury pick a certain decision. If I'm a hostage negotiator, I save people's lives. If I'm a parent, I raise better kids because I can communicate in a way that gets the outcome that I'm looking for from another person.
That might just be the most important skill in the world.
I think it is.
Increasingly so in a world of AI, where computers are going to be able to handle a lot of the sort of intelligent white collar related stuff for us. And we're going to be rendered useful only for that which humans can do, which is probably this stuff.
Yeah.
The IRL, in real life, human to human stuff.
And I think people are starving for it. You've got a podcast that's non-performative, and people are attracted to realism. There's so much.
It is true, actually. We are more attracted to realism. I would kind of, and to that degree, I would agree, especially with like things like ChatGPT, that are just doing interesting things, with AI generated content, these artists, that are just pulling in random stuff from everything. So, there will probably come a time in the future, if this does not subside, I would say, and this is just a side note, by the way, that if it doesn't slow down, we might even come to the point where we will not fully tell what is AI and what is not. And I mean, we've already come to that point with certain groups of people, like, for example, my grandparents. They cannot tell for the life of them what is the difference between an AI-generated ad plug versus myself. Obviously, I can tell. AI-generated content versus real content. It's obviously kind of a huge generational shift. I mean, we all have gotten through that. But we might come to the point, I believe, that if not, then we might have to shift back to realism. And I already kind of sense that happening. So, but yeah, let's see what else he has to say.
That's artificial and performative, that people are starving for realism already. And this is pre-AI. This was starting to blow up because it just gave us a sense of something that was real. We are in an epidemic right now of loneliness where people are disconnected from each other, and these human skills.
And I think it'll happen also during COVID because of, what was it, a month that we were all under like quarantine or something? Like, yeah. And also, depending in the states, also legislation. So it's really weird. So to be fair though, the 2020 was a huge shift in perception, most definitely. So
Are going to matter more than ever as AI comes out.
I was thinking about what you teach in terms of human behavior and getting the best out of people and influencing people to do what you want them to do. And AI does a lot of that.
It does.
It seems like it's been programmed to understand human behavior and to get me to like it. So let's get into some of that human behavior that you think is critical in a world of AI.
Siri's dictation
man.
was driving me crazy,
Dude.
so I switched to Whisperflow. Here's why I'll never go back. First off,
In a world of AI, if the skills that matter the most are human-to-human skills, where does one begin?
Let's understand humans first. Like, how could AI compromise a person? And when it comes to influencing human beings, the most important thing that you could ever understand, whether you're a CEO, a mom, or a dad, is this thing called the PCP model. And PCP is a 3-step cascade that happens inside the human brain when we get influenced, whether we're doing something massively extreme, like some Manchurian candidate type stuff, or we're just having a sales call and we make a sale. Everything goes through PCP. So P is perception.
Okay.
So the first step,
Perception, what you believe about the situation. Okay. I mean, I guess I could kind of see that unfolding. And not even just see, it's right there in front of me and in front of you guys as well. What you believe about the situation. So you can also sway people to see your point, but how do you do that? Okay. So this is just point one.
to really changing somebody's outcome, getting you to make a decision later on, is to change how you're viewing this situation. So when people talk about owning the frame of,
And by the way, that's how the elite. That's how the to some extent the big dogs like Amazon and Facebook have gotten us to go their way, right? To shop so much. It's because of that perception. Because even Apple, believe it or not, Steve Jobs is like, yo, I'm gonna tell you what you want instead of really what you want. Like, if you know what I mean? Like, okay, so he wanted to instill in us all that we need the iPhone, right? Without iPhones, we can't live, you know? And he just kind of drew this motive more and more and more and pushed it so much that it's basically now just become second nature. It's now just become part of our life. So, yeah, I mean, it's wow. The human brain is really complex, and we ourselves are complex creatures, but I didn't know it was pretty that simple.
a situation, or redefining what a situation means right there, is changing the perception of it. If we're just talking about AI can say, yes, Stephen, I see what you mean, and I can see why you're frustrated. And you know, one of those like standard responses. But here's what this is really about. And it gives you this layer that makes you say, oh shit, like it's going deep. So now it's hit the P on the PCP model. So it's modified your perception of a situation.
And how is it specifically done that there? Is it because it's acknowledged my point of view, but then given a new one?
Yes.
So if it just given me a new one, I might not have believed it. But because it first acknowledges my point of view before delivering it a different one, that's more effective.
Yes. So, and the biggest mistake that people make with language is language should be resonating and not directing.
Wow, okay. Never knew that. Never even thought of it, to be quite honest with you. It should resonate. Okay, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. Never, like I said, I've never done this before, but all right, resonating. Hold on, I might have to go back. That was a really good point. Might as well even take some notes down.
That's more effective.
Yes. So, and the biggest mistake that people make with language is language should be resonating and not directing.
Language should be resonating and not directing. Okay. So you just pretty much from what I get, this is like beat around the bush and not go straight forward. All right. Feels like love life pretty much then at this point.
If you want to speak well, you're not directing people to think certain things or to feel certain things. It should resonate with what they're already feeling and then start guiding them. So you're getting into their river, so to speak, and flowing with that first.
Okay, so
Yeah, kind of like I'm right now with you guys. I'm trying to get in your river. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm just, like I said, I'm pointing out my own opinions.
let's do some role playing.
All
That
right.
would be cool.
I say to you, Chase, I think the sky is purple. Your job is to carry out the perception shift.
Yeah.
What would you say to me?
So if somebody says something that is an idea that's far out there, I'll always acknowledge it. And I would say, like, every human being is different. And it's fascinating how many rods and cones we have in our eyes, how we all perceive things differently. And it's amazing when you see one thing that you might see something that's purple and I see the exact same thing. We may be seeing the identical color, but our brains are just interpreting it differently, or maybe we have a different word for it. And it's amazing how much we agree on, and we just don't realize how much aligned we are with a situation in life. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I've never had to respond to somebody calling the sky purple, but if I can modify how you perceive a situation. So let's say we're at a business networking event and I walk up to you and I say, let's say I call out the script, openly call out the script.
Okay.
And I say, it's amazing how many people are just running the script of, I need to look like a business professional. I can't say anything.
Well, yeah, that's actually that is pretty true. I've actually had that myself, where you know that feeling where you just want to stand out the most. Yeah, I feel that right there, because you gotta really look snazzy. You gotta really look like you are the part. You know your stuff. You know. Yeah. So okay, all right. I learned that the hard way though, that it's not exactly supposed to be, you know, too bougie, I guess, if you will. You just gotta basically be yourself, but also try to be respectful of the area you were surrounded with. So that's just at least one of it. But I actually want to see, yeah, what else does he have to say about this?
Thing that makes me look emotional. I can't say anything that's personal. I have to hand out a business card. I have to like put on this persona. So I'm just openly saying the script that's running inside that person's head.
It's annoying. It's annoying, the script, yeah. It's the personal checklist, if you will.
And I'm making you aware of it, which means that I'm changing your perception of the situation. So anything I can get you aware of that's running inside of your own head, I can massively start transforming your behavior. And we'll get to identity here in a minute, but any script that you call out, you're weakening its power. So like if you shook
Really? Any script, okay, take note, guys, take note. Any script that you call out, it weakens its power. Honestly, this is helping out a lot more than any coach that I've worked with, man. This has helped. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've learned so much of like the last 8-9 minutes of just this episode. Much more than I had probably learned in over the course of 5 years. I kid you not. This is like class 101 right here, psychology. Dude, my gosh.
my hand super aggressively, or somebody shook my hand like a pretend alpha male, and you call out exactly what they're wanting to happen. And you say, wow, that handshake is really firm. I just read an article a few weeks ago that only alpha males do that. And you say the quiet part out loud. So any script that's running in the background, or some kind of social script, if I can surface that, then I become a lot more powerful over the situation because I've lessened the power of a script. Any script that we push down is going to be a lot more powerful in that person. We're increasing power.
On that example of the very, over the top handshake, by calling it out, what have you done? what have you done in my head? So I'm the one that's just squeezed your hand really tight.
Yeah.
Because I want to be an alpha male. You call it out. Well, what does that do? It disarms.
Okay, so hold on. Is this just pretty much calling someone's bluff? I mean, I know I just said not too long ago, as a matter of fact, probably 30 seconds ago, that I'm learning a lot more. But just by defining from a handshake on someone that wants to be like an alpha dog, didn't know you could really do that, honestly. So, okay, so like, I can't really do that on anyone right now, but just handshake, if it's firm, that you're signifying they want to be the alpha dog. But if they are soft, they don't want to disturb your presence, or they don't want to kind of, trespass some territory. Or if they're just mid, all right.
Me,
I don't
or
know.
it makes me feel great, or
No,
Yeah, I've actually wondered that now. Now that he mentions it, I've been wondering that for like 10 years now. Does it really matter about a handshake?
and I'm not saying that that's a tactic anybody should do, but if there's a script running here, like here's what we're supposed to do. You and I are on a podcast. We're supposed to make eye contact with each other. We're supposed to nod throughout this entire thing. I'm making both of us more aware of this. And that gives us a little permission to break away from it.
to break away from it.
Yeah. So your desire to be the
Oh, so it's the part of breaking. Okay. All right. So you just got to tear that wall down then. Okay. Oh, sorry.
increasing power.
On that example of the very, over the top handshake, by calling it out, what have you done?
We're supposed to make eye contact with each other. We're supposed to nod throughout this entire thing. I'm making both of us more aware of this. And that gives us a little permission to break away from it.
To break away from it.
Yeah. So your desire to be the alpha male in the handshake situation would be temporarily kind of broken because I'm openly saying out loud what you didn't want to say out loud.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. So you're like kind of calling it out, but without it being
Without making fun of them.
aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So after I shift your perception, all I need to do is get you to see a situation a little bit differently. And if you turn on the news, oh my God, are you going to see this all day, every day? The perception changes. Oh, you thought it was about this? Guess what? Here's what they did today. And they did this blatantly. And now it's in your face. They do all of this stuff to shift your perception. And in order to get your behavior to change, once I shift your perception, then I change the C in this model. And the C is context.
Okay.
And context is the most important thing in the world. And nobody's talking about it. Probably everyone watching this or listening to this right now is going to get...
Context is the environment that shapes what feels normal. Okay, so I know I've gone through this, but this is just pretty much propaganda, sounds like. It kind of just sounds like it's propaganda. So, yeah. Okay, so context propaganda, right? And then perception is they want you to believe this propaganda that you should be, you should feel greater with this product or greater with this ideology or, whatever the situation might be. So, all right. I mean, that makes a lot more sense.
Naked today. They'll get in the shower. They'll get in a bath, whatever it is. But almost everybody's going to get naked. We're probably not going to do it in the middle of an office building, like at work. Context dictates what behavior is permissible.
When every day feels the same, one man wants more.
I need an adventure.
So Ken goes to Expedia.
So if you go back to I think it was 1957, there's this guy running a stage hypnosis, like comedy show, where they bring people up on stage and make them do silly stuff. And one of the guys that's up on stage, he's knocked out and he's doing all this crazy stuff. He's an off-duty police officer. So he's concealed. Okay. He has a concealed handgun. But one of the
nothing surprising there.
Skits in this, or one of the bits that this comedian does, he tells the people that all of you are sheriffs and you can't leave the stage, but everybody in the audience right here is rowdy. They're making lots of noise. You need to tell them to keep it down. So this starts, and the hypnotist says, now they're not even listening to you. They're not respecting you. And then he says, you can't leave the stage, but one of them's pulling out a gun. And this off-duty police officer pulls out his service weapon and starts firing into the crowd.
This is a true story.
True story. Really? Yeah. But is he a monster? Of course.
I don't think he is. Well, I mean, okay. Maybe, again, this could provide some more context as he's describing right now. But I don't know. In a rowdy crowd, it's kind of hard, I guess, to quiet down everyone. But listen, it was the 50s, okay? Compared to today, today there's a lot better situations to calm people down. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he responds.
Of course not, because context dictated what he would do.
Okay, so I missed that part again. So it's not. It's all good. I mean, I just got to work. It's all about practice, though. It's just practicing, just like I am right now.
So if I can change context to where what I want you to do is just an automatic thing, I can make you do anything. The real skill is just being able to shift perception and context. If you can just shift perception and context, you can radicalize someone on the internet and turn them into a shooter. You can radicalize somebody politically and make them excommunicate their entire family over a Thanksgiving. I'll give you
Which is, by the way, true. I mean, history has shown that if you do, you're obviously going to get a monster. So, I mean, it's in some degree a good thing to know about kind of like how the human mind works and psychology, but in the wrong hands, it's really bad. It's really bad.
an example
in the
from
wrong-
UK.
So
In 1979, I think, there was a fire in Manchester in Woolworth's department store.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it was during the
So it looks pretty bad, obviously. Manchester, 8th of May, 1979. So that was 47 years ago. Wow.
daytime. Doors were open. And it turned out that most of the people that died were in the restaurant.
Ish.
And the restaurant was right by the door. So the fire inspector looked and they were trying to figure this out. And then a psychologist finally came along and said they died because they were waiting to pay their bill. Because no one gave them permission to kind of stand up and walk out. No one did it first. So they kind of just went along with the crowd. And in the context of a restaurant, you don't stand up and walk out until you've paid your bill. So the context can also lead us into something like that. So the perception of the situation, even though there's a fire, I'm locked in context of I'm sitting in a restaurant. And that's been tested time and time again, where people will sit in a smoke-filled room long enough to die just because nobody else is moving. So context matters.
So how does that pertain to being able to persuade people? For like, I don't know, Debbie in Ohio,
Yeah.
who's listening.
Yeah.
How does she work and think about context when she's in a sales meeting, speaking to her husband, her son, whoever it might be?
Yeah. So one of the best things that you can learn when it comes to being able to shift context is setting the frame of what every interaction is and being the one to openly say what the frame is as the conversation starts. Let's say you're talking to a kid and it's a parent talking to a kid. The kid thinks they're in trouble. That's the context they have. And I need to shift their perception of our situation before I can change their context. So we sit down, we start the conversation, and I'm like, I'm so glad that we can have this talk in a calm way that is focused on learning instead of punishment. A massively transformed perception and context. So I've changed what this means and the definition of what's allowed here.
Okay. I mean, it's been debated for probably many years of how, especially in the question of discipline. Like, should you discipline your kids softly or pretty rough? Either one if done to the extreme, is bad. Really, it is. But if you know how to like even it out, it's pretty well. But coming from his point of view, it is pretty amazing that he's come to the point where he's like, it's possible to give it a learning experience to your kids in a nice way, but also remind them that it is, you know, learning, from your mistakes and it's a punishment, right? Like, by all means, it's supposed to be a punishment, but they're trying to get it to make it a learning experience and not so much kind of make it feel like, that you were a bad person type thing. Okay. Okay, this is somewhat making sense, but let's see what the final P does.
So context gives us the final P, which is permission. So if I change your perception
Okay,
of
so permission is the final yes that turns intention into action. All right. Final yes. Of course, I don't really know what the final yes does clarify, but we'll find out.
conversation, and you can do that right away. And if I'm entering into a negotiation and we start the room with, I'm glad that we could all come here for this, and I know both of us want to find common ground as fast as possible, and I suggest that maybe we even start there. So I'm setting a frame right from the very beginning.
It's so surprising how few of us do that when we go into a conversation. I was just thinking back over the last sort of 10 days of my life in business meetings, very important business meetings in Los Angeles with new potential partners, and walking into the boardroom and sitting down and doing the like formalities of like, oh, hi, how's your weather? Like, how's the weather? Where'd you live? Oh, West, fine. And then.
All right. Well, I know this is more of an hour and a half. Actually, no, more like 2 hours long, but I'm going to do more parts. This is just part one. Part two coming very soon. So, okay, so we learned that perception is the overall thought and how to sway people. Okay. Perception, context, and permission. All three can either cause chaos or cause a beautiful thing to happen, I guess. Huh. But there's a reason why it's 2 hours long, and today we only got 15 minutes out of it. Actually, no, 16 out of it. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching part one of this episode run of Diary of CEO. So thank you guys. And like I said in the beginning, if you guys wouldn't mind, please hit that subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me. Again, appreciate it so much. Okay, catch y'all later.